Most people don't actually fail in life. They stop when it gets uncomfortable, when results are silent, and when doubt starts whispering that it's not worth it anymore. Right at that moment, when quitting feels reasonable and walking away feels safe, is often when everything is about to change. The struggle you're in right now isn't proof that you're losing, it's proof that you're still in the game. And if you walk away now, you'll never know how close you were to the breakthrough that could have changed everything. Most people think failure is falling down. They think failure is losing money, being rejected, being laughed at, being told no, or watching a dream collapse in front of their eyes. But the truth is far more uncomfortable. The biggest failure is not falling. The biggest failure is quitting before the breakthrough arrives. And the reason this truth hurts is because almost everyone who quits does so when they are closer than they think. They quit at the exact moment when pressure is highest, when doubt is loudest, when results are still invisible, and when endurance is required more than talent. Quitting feels logical in that moment. It feels justified. It feels safe. But it is precisely at that moment that life is testing one question. How badly do you really want what you say you want? Think about how breakthroughs actually work. They almost never arrive gradually in a neat, predictable way. They arrive suddenly, after long periods of silence. Growth is not linear. Progress hides. Seeds grow underground long before anything appears above the surface. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. From the inside, something is changing every single day. But most people don't quit because nothing is happening. They quit because they think nothing is happening. They confuse invisibility with failure. They confuse slowness with impossibility. And so they walk away, unaware that the breakthrough was closer than ever. Thomas Edison is one of the most famous examples, not because he was unusually gifted, but because he refused to quit when quitting would have made sense. Thousands of failed attempts at creating a working light bulb. Imagine the ridicule, the self-doubt, the exhaustion. Imagine the voices saying, "This isn't working, be realistic, try something else." Edison didn't see those attempts as failures. He saw them as steps. Each failure narrowed the path. Each mistake removed one more wrong option. If he had quit at attempt 999, history would remember him as a man who tried. Because he didn't quit, history remembers him as a man who changed the world. The difference between those two outcomes was not intelligence, it was endurance. Now think about how this applies to your own life. Your goals may not be as famous or dramatic, but the process is the same. Whether it's building a business, learning a skill, healing from pain, losing weight, changing habits, or creating something meaningful, the hardest part is always the middle. The beginning has excitement, the end has reward. The middle has uncertainty, and it is in that middle that most people quit. They quit when motivation fades. They quit when results don't match effort. They quit when comparison creeps in and others seem ahead. They quit not because they can't continue, but because they no longer feel encouraged to continue. This is where most dreams quietly die. Not in dramatic explosions, but in silent surrender. One skipped day turns into a week. One missed opportunity turns into abandonment. One thought of, maybe this isn't for me, turns into a lifetime of what if. Quitting doesn't always look like giving up entirely. Sometimes it looks like lowering standards. Sometimes it looks like doing the bare minimum. Sometimes it looks like staying busy with distractions so you don't have to face the discomfort of trying again. But the result is the same. The breakthrough never comes, not because it wasn't possible, but because you walked away too soon. J.K. Rowling's story is another powerful reminder of this truth. Before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon, she was a single mother living on welfare, battling depression, and facing rejection after rejection from publishers. 12 major publishers said no. 12! Each rejection could have been the moment she decided to quit, to accept that maybe she wasn't good enough, maybe the dream was childish, maybe life had already decided her limits. But she kept going. She kept submitting. She kept believing in a story that no one else could yet see the value in. If she had quit at rejection number 11, the world would have lost one of the most influential literary works of all time. The breakthrough was not delayed because she lacked talent, it was delayed because the world wasn't ready yet, and quitting would have ensured that the world never got the chance. What makes quitting before the breakthrough so tragic is that pain often intensifies right before progress reveals itself. This is true in fitness, in careers, in personal growth, and even in emotional healing. Muscles hurt before they grow. Confidence shakes before it strengthens. Old identities resist before new ones form. The mind, desperate for comfort, interprets this discomfort as a warning sign. It says, "Stop. This is too hard. This is not working." But discomfort is often not a signal to quit. It is a signal that change is happening. Think of a person learning a new skill, like public speaking. In the beginning, fear, new skill like public speaking. In the beginning, fear is manageable because expectations are low, but as they improve, the stakes feel higher. They become more aware of mistakes. Anxiety increases. This is often when people quit, thinking they're getting worse, when in reality, they're becoming more conscious and more skilled. Growth brings awareness, and awareness can feel like regression if you don't understand the process. Quitting at that stage doesn't mean avoiding failure, it means avoiding mastery. There is also a psychological trap that makes quitting tempting: the desire for certainty. Humans crave assurance. We want guarantees that our effort will pay off, but breakthroughs don't come with guarantees. They come with risk, they come with faith, and most importantly, they come with patience. The moment you demand certainty before continuing is the moment you limit yourself to ordinary outcomes. Extraordinary results require walking forward without seeing the full path. Many people quit not because they are incapable, but because they underestimate the time success takes. Society glorifies overnight success while hiding the years of unseen effort behind it. You see the finished product, not the countless late nights, failed attempts, and moments of doubt. This distorted view creates unrealistic expectations. When your journey doesn't match the fantasy, quitting feels like the reasonable choice. But the truth is, most people who succeed simply stayed longer than others were willing to stay. They endured longer. They tried one more time. They showed up on days when motivation was gone. Consider someone trying to turn their life around after years of bad habits. The early days feel hopeful, then reality hits. Cravings return. Old patterns call louder. Progress feels slow. This is often when the thought arises, "I'll never change." That thought is a lie born from impatience. Change is not proven in days, it is proven in persistence. Every day you don't quit, you are voting for the person you want to become. Every time you resist the urge to give up, you are strengthening the very muscle that leads to breakthroughs, resilience. The most dangerous thing about quitting before the breakthrough is that it teaches your mind a habit. Each time you quit, you make quitting easier next time. Your brain learns that discomfort equals escape. Over time, this erodes self-trust. You stop believing in your ability to finish what you start, and once that belief is damaged, even small challenges feel overwhelming. On the other hand, every time you push through the urge to quit, you build evidence that you are capable of endurance. That evidence becomes confidence. And confidence changes everything. Breakthroughs don't just change circumstances, they change identity. The person who persists becomes someone different from the person who quits. Not morally better, not more talented, but mentally stronger. They begin to see obstacles differently. They stop asking, "Should I quit?" and start asking, "How do I adapt?" That shift alone puts them in a different category of human beings. There are countless ordinary people with extraordinary stories who were one step away from quitting. Athletes who trained for years before a single opportunity. Entrepreneurs who faced bankruptcy multiple times before stability. Artists whose early work was ignored before one piece finally resonated. In almost every case, if you trace the story back far enough, you will find a moment where quitting would have been understandable, even rational. And that is exactly why not quitting mattered. This doesn't mean blind persistence without reflection. It means understanding the difference between adjusting strategy and abandoning vision. You may need to change how you do something, but not why you do it. Quitting before the breakthrough often happens when people confuse a flawed method with a flawed dream. The dream may still be valid, the path may just need refinement. Those who succeed stay committed to the destination while remaining flexible about the route. So if you are tired right now, if you feel unseen, if you're wondering whether it's worth continuing, understand this: the urge to quit is often the final test before progress appears. Life rarely announces breakthroughs in advance, it simply waits to see who stays. Your effort is not wasted, your struggle is not meaningless. The fact that it's hard does not mean it's wrong, it often means you're close. One day, if you don't quit, you will look back at this version of yourself with gratitude. You will realize that the moment you almost gave up was the moment everything was about to change. And the only difference between regret and pride will be one decision: to stay, to try again, to endure just a little longer. So don't quit today. Not because it's easy, not because success is guaranteed, but because quitting now would erase the possibility of the breakthrough that only persistence can unlock. Stay in the process. Trust the unseen progress. Let discomfort sharpen you instead of stopping you, because the biggest failure isn't trying and failing. The biggest failure is walking away when you were closer than you ever knew. So here's where it all comes together, right now, in this moment. Not someday, not when you feel ready, right now. Because the fact that you're still here, still listening, still breathing with this idea inside your chest means something important. You haven't quit. And that alone puts you closer to your breakthrough than you realize. The pain you've been carrying, the delays that embarrassed you, the doors that stayed shut longer than they should have, none of that was meaningless. It was shaping you into someone strong enough to handle what's coming next. Most people never fail because they aren't capable. They fail because they walk away seconds before life turns in their favor. You didn't come this far to stop here. You didn't survive all those quiet battles just to surrender at the edge of change. So take this with you and live it, not just today, but every day. When it gets hardest, that is not the signal to quit. That is the signal you are close. Stay one more day, try one more time, make one more call, write one more page, practice one more hour, believe for one more moment. Momentum is built by people who refuse to leave when progress is invisible. And one day, maybe sooner than you think, you'll look back and realize that the moment you almost gave up was the exact moment everything was about to shift. You are not behind, you are not broken, you are not wasting your time, you are in the process. And if you keep going, if you choose discipline over doubt and faith over fear, your breakthrough will meet you on the road you refuse to abandon. Walk forward with purpose. Act today with courage. And remember this: quitting ends the story, but persistence lets it become legendary.